The Middle Ages, 1,000 years of history, often misunderstood. While we often think of knights and castles, it was actually a time of deep intellectual and spiritual change. So what was at the heart of this change? The evolution of philosophy. As this evolution drew to a close, so did the age of the Church Fathers. These fathers were the first philosophers and theologians who shaped the basic teachings of Christianity. But the dawn of a new era was beginning to appear on the horizon. As Europe transitioned from the early Middle Ages to the High Middle Ages, a new intellectual spirit began to emerge in its monasteries and newly formed universities. This was the age of the Scholastics. These diverse thinkers shared a common goal: to systematize Christian theology using the tools of reason and logic. The Scholastics were not content with simply accepting religious truths on faith alone. They believed that faith and reason, far from being opposed, could work in harmony. This marked a departure from the patristic era, where defending Christianity against external threats was paramount. The scholastic method was characterized by its rigor and reliance on dialectic, a form of argumentation that aimed to reach truth through a process of questioning and disputation. Thinkers like Peter Abelard and Peter Lombard used this method to explore a wide range of theological and philosophical questions, from the nature of sacraments to the problem of universals. The scholastic movement was fueled by a number of factors. The rediscovery of Aristotle's works through Arabic translations provided a rich source of philosophical ideas that challenged and invigorated medieval thinkers. The growth of universities, centers of learning that brought together scholars from across Europe, created an environment of intellectual ferment and debate. And the rise of powerful monarchs, eager to consolidate their power and legitimize their rule, increased the demand for learned advisors and administrators, many of whom were educated in scholastic theology and philosophy. The works of Aristotle, long closed to the West during the Middle Ages, were reintroduced to Europe thanks to the Arab scholars who preserved and translated them. This rediscovery had a seismic impact on medieval thought. It offered a new and sophisticated philosophical framework for understanding the world. Aristotle's emphasis on empirical observation, his systematic approach to logic, and his comprehensive treatment of subjects ranging from ethics to metaphysics presented a powerful alternative to the Neoplatonic ideas that had dominated early medieval thought. One of the most influential figures in integrating Aristotle into Christian thought was Thomas Aquinas, a Dominican friar and theologian known as the Angelic Doctor. Aquinas saw in Aristotle a kindred spirit, someone who sought to understand the world through reason and observation. He believed that, properly understood, Aristotle's philosophy could be reconciled with Christian faith and could provide a rational foundation for belief. Aquinas' magnum opus, the Summa Theologica, is a testament to the power of the scholastic method and Aristotelian thought to illuminate Christian theology. In this massive work, Aquinas systematically examines a wide range of theological questions, using reason and logic to explain, defend, and systematize Christian doctrine. He addresses topics such as the existence of God, the nature of the soul, virtues and vices, and the sacraments of the Church, drawing on both Scripture and Aristotle to present a comprehensive vision of Christian truth. Augustine laid the groundwork for medieval thought, focusing on topics like God, the human soul, knowledge, and morality. His philosophical contributions are significant both for fusing ancient Greek thought with Christianity and for establishing a groundbreaking epistemological and ethical framework for Western theology and philosophy. Augustine's understanding of God was inspired by Plato's world of ideas. He believed that God is an absolute being, both the creator and sustainer of the universe. He argued that God is the source of higher qualities like goodness, beauty, and knowledge. This understanding reinforced the belief that God is the reason for the existence of all things in the universe, which became one of the fundamental beliefs of Christian theology. Augustine questioned the reliability of the senses in attaining knowledge and introduced the concept of inner illumination, illuminatio. He believed that true knowledge is attainable through the illumination of the human soul by God. This concept of inner knowledge influenced Descartes and other modern philosophers. Similarly, Augustine's idea of certainty of one's own existence, cogito, paved the way for Descartes' "I think, therefore I am" argument. In his work, Confessions, Augustine explored the concept of time. He argued that time is relative, stating that the past exists in memories, the future in expectations, and the present in a fleeting experience. This became a significant thought that shaped the perception of time in Western philosophy. Augustine's moral philosophy places great emphasis on human will and free will. He believed that human nature inherently desires closeness to God but is prone to sin. Therefore, the will can direct a person towards God or towards evil. In his work, City of God, Civitas Dei, he emphasizes the importance of turning to God and leading a virtuous life. Augustine defined evil as a lack of being. He argued that evil is not something created by God, rather it is the absence of being and goodness. With this approach, he presents a strong argument that God is not the source of evil, providing an essential basis for addressing the problem of theodicy, the contradiction between the existence of evil and the goodness of God, within Christian thought. Augustine's ideas resonated deeply in medieval philosophy. His thoughts were developed by Thomas Aquinas and other scholastic philosophers, leaving a lasting legacy on Western theology. Moreover, his interpretations of spiritual and inner life contributed to shaping the mystical aspect of Western culture. By combining ancient Greek thought with Christian faith, Augustine's philosophy formed one of the foundations of Western thought. His analyses on topics like God, the soul, time, and evil continue to influence philosophical and theological discussions today.